Welcome back to Catalyst University. My name is Kevin Tokoph. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. In this video, we're going to talk about how we classify different types of clouds. So let's start by looking at the clouds that we see at the lowest altitude. So this type of cloud is called a cumulus cloud. Cumulus clouds grow vertically, and so these clouds tend to be very tall. They manifest as floating cotton balls, we'll say, and they usually have sharp outlines, particularly on their top surfaces. Cumulus clouds are normally going to be flat on their lower surfaces, but as we move toward their tops, they're going to be a lot puffier and more irregular in shape. Here we have stratus clouds. Stratus clouds are very low in the atmosphere, and they can be so low, in fact, that they can actually contact the ground. In that case, we term the clouds fog, although it's just a very, very low altitude stratus cloud. Normally, as you can see here, the stratus clouds are going to be uniform gray in color. They're usually low enough and thick enough to where we cannot see the sun or the moon. The third type of cloud that we see at low altitude is the stratocumulus cloud. Stratocumulus, as the name suggests, are really just a combination of stratus and cumulus clouds. So they're going to be puffy, like the cumulus clouds from the first picture, but more elongated and uniform in pattern like the stratus clouds. And so if we consider all of these clouds one unit, then they cover a much larger surface area than the cumulus clouds that we saw before. Alright, so now let's move up to middle altitude. And the first one we're going to see is the altocumulus cloud. Altocumulus are pretty much just like cumulus clouds. They appear as cotton balls in the sky, but they're much higher in altitude than the regular cumulus clouds. One way that you can differentiate these is extend your arm out toward the sky. And if the little puffs of cloud are about as wide as your thumb, then you can normally say that these clouds are altocumulus instead of cumulus. Now these particular altocumulus clouds are very non-uniform in their arrangement. However, here's another picture of a different type of altocumulus cloud where they are much more uniform, and in this picture they appear to form ridges in the sky that look like waves. The second type of cloud that we're going to see at middle altitude is the altostratus cloud, which is shown here. Like the stratus cloud, it's going to be usually bluish-gray in color and cover most of the sky, having a very high surface area. However, the major difference between altostratus and stratus in the low atmosphere is that altostratus is going to be high up enough and thin enough to where we should be able to see the sun or the moon. Note the sun that we can actually see in the top right of this picture through the altostratus clouds. Now let's switch gears and talk about the high altitude clouds, the first of which is shown here, the cirrocumulus clouds. These are very similar to the altocumulus and cumulus clouds we saw before, except that cirrocumulus clouds are even farther up. And so they're going to look very similar to the others, being rounded puffs. The way that we can differentiate a cirrocumulus cloud from the other two types of cumulus clouds is to extend your arm upward toward the sky and compare the size of these puffs to your smallest finger, so digit number 5. If these puffs are similar in size or smaller than your little finger, then they are likely cirrocumulus instead of altocumulus or cumulus. The second type of high-altitude cloud is the cirrostratus cloud. Again, these are very similar to the other types of stratus clouds, and they form a thin sheet over the sky. These ones are so high up and so thin that you should very easily be able to see the sun or the moon with these. But as you can tell from this picture, cirrostratus clouds are even thinner than altostratus clouds. The third type of high-altitude cloud is one that you're probably very familiar with, and these are the cirrus clouds. These manifest as wispy white streaks. You've probably seen these quite often in late spring or the summertime in the sky. Now, what about clouds that cause storms? We have two of these. The first one we're going to look at is what's called the cumulonimbus cloud. The second type is the nimbostratus cloud. And both of these can cause rain and snow, but the way we differentiate these is generally by whether or not we have thunder or lightning. The first one we're going to look at is the cumulonimbus cloud. These, of course, can cause rain or snow, but these ones are associated with thunder and lightning, whereas nimbostratus clouds are not. Also, we might think of cumulonimbus clouds as the more severe of the two, and so sometimes if it snows, this is the type of cloud that can cause it to turn into a blizzard. So, cumulonimbus clouds, like this one shown here, are responsible for thunderstorms. Cumulonimbus clouds form when cumulus or altocumulus clouds grow over time. And so since these clouds contain a lot of water droplets, when the water droplets become too large and too heavy that the cloud cannot hold them up, they fall as rain. Also, these clouds are going to produce thunder and lightning. We won't talk about that in much detail here. That'll be the next video where I explain how thunder and lightning actually occur. But for now, understand that cumulonimbus clouds are associated with thunder and lightning. Here's a few other pictures of cumulonimbus clouds. While cumulonimbus clouds can yield a more violent or aggressive storm, nimbostratus clouds are a lot more peaceful. Nimbostratus clouds are clouds that produce rain or continuous snow, depending on the temperature, but these are not associated with thunder nor lightning. These are going to be dark gray clouds which cause lighter, calmer rainstorms. And so the backdrop we see here is calm, gloomy, but yet we only have a soft rain, usually without wind or lightning. Here's another picture of a nimbostratus cloud. Hopefully this video gave you a good understanding of the different types of clouds. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and notifications. In the following video, we'll be discussing the exact mechanism of how we get lightning and also thunder. Thank you. Join us then.